Philosophy is an exercise for death. With this statement, Plato described the philosopher's task, learning to detach from the illusions of the world and move closer to the truth. But what does it really mean to practice philosophy? For centuries, philosophy was regarded not only as a theoretical discipline, but also as a practical guide for everyday life. In antiquity, various philosophical schools provided practical teachings on how to lead a virtuous and serene life. These philosophies were not merely intellectual speculations, but genuine ways of living that shaped the actions and daily decisions of their followers. Over time, philosophy underwent a progressive academization, focusing more on theoretical and abstract issues. Despite this shift, recent decades have seen a revival of practical philosophy, with renewed interest in applying philosophical principles to everyday life. This return to its origins seeks to restore philosophy's original purpose as a tool for living an authentic and meaningful life. So, can philosophy be seen as the art of building one's own life? Personally, I like the idea of viewing it this way: a journey of personal transformation that encompasses daily choices, actions, and thoughts, like a tangible guide toward a more mindful and authentic life. Philosophers like Socrates, Aristotle, Epicurus, and the Stoics didn't just develop theories. They actively practiced their teachings in daily life. Philosophy wasn't merely a collection of concepts to debate, but a method for approaching life with awareness and determination. Pierre Hadot, who lived from 1922 to 2010, was one of the most prominent scholars of ancient philosophy. He rediscovered this vision, emphasizing how philosophy was originally a set of spiritual exercises, practical tools to refine the mind and character. Now let's delve into the heart of this fascinating perspective. The idea that philosophy must translate into action is clearly illustrated by an ancient metaphor. A carpenter doesn't just talk about construction, but picks up a hammer and nails to build a house. In other words, one cannot be considered a true craftsman if they only know the theory without ever putting it into practice. Similarly, building one's life through philosophy means not merely reading and reflecting, but turning thought into action, living according to authentic and mindful principles. Socrates never wrote anything. His teachings were conveyed through dialogue, challenging people's beliefs to encourage critical thinking. His philosophy was not a set of doctrines to memorize, but a continuous exercise in reflection and questioning. Every conversation with him was a destabilizing experience. Simple questions uncovered deep inconsistencies, forcing those who listened to reassess their certainties. Rather than providing ready-made answers, he created a space for authentic dialogue, where each individual was challenged to construct their own worldview with intellectual honesty. The Socratic method was not aimed at transmitting knowledge, but at fostering a continuous search, an inner inquiry leading to greater self-awareness. For Socrates, true knowledge was not about knowing many things, but about recognizing one's own limitations and striving to overcome them. It's no coincidence that the Oracle of Delphi described him as the wisest man in Athens, precisely because, unlike many others, he was able to know that he did not know. This mindset, far removed from the arrogance of those who believe they already have all the answers, is what sets apart the true philosopher from those who merely repeat learned concepts without questioning them. Challenging common opinions and testing one's own ideas requires courage, as it means embracing uncertainty, doubt, and the possibility of changing one's perspective. For many, this kind of critical thinking can be uncomfortable, even unsettling. It is no coincidence that Socrates provoked such contrasting reactions: admiration and respect on one hand, hostility and suspicion on the other. His way of questioning reality challenged not only individual beliefs, but also social conventions, revealing how often truth is sacrificed for the sake of convenience or conformity. But how can philosophy transform life? According to the Stoics, the key to a serene life lies in the ability to distinguish between what is within our control and what is not. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Give each day its value. Don't waste time complaining about what you cannot change." A simple teaching, yet profoundly revolutionary. In his Meditations, the philosopher-emperor does not offer the illusion of total control over reality, but encourages developing the ability to face everything that happens with clarity and composure. This perspective enables one to face the hardships of life with a disciplined mind. Every obstacle, every setback becomes an opportunity to exercise control over what is within our power: thoughts, attitudes, and reactions. In this sense, building one's life through philosophy means developing an inner fortress, a balance that allows one to navigate the world without becoming a slave to it. Plato described philosophy as a journey of ascension from the cave of ignorance to the light of truth, a challenging and often painful path that demands questioning everything once taken for granted. Those who dwell in the cave see only shadows cast on the wall, believing them to be reality. But upon stepping outside, they realize just how limited their perspective truly was. This metaphor, presented in the allegory of the cave, symbolizes the process of building self-awareness, the transition from passively accepting what is imposed to actively seeking a more authentic understanding of the world. In the modern world, this concept applies to those who build their beliefs solely on what is presented by the media, dominant culture, or common opinions, without ever questioning the accuracy or depth of what they perceive. Information filtered through algorithms, social pressure, and unexamined conventions are all shadows on the wall, images that appear real, but are, in reality, only a partial version of the truth. To step out of the cave means to develop critical thinking, to stop passively accepting everything presented, and to begin viewing the world with greater awareness. This process is not merely an intellectual adventure, but a profound transformation. It involves shedding prejudices, illusions, and conditioning to learn to see the world with fresh eyes. It is a journey that demands courage, as the truth can be unsettling and is not always easy to accept. For Aristotle, philosophy is deeply intertwined with everyday life. The ultimate goal of existence is eudaimonia, a term often translated as happiness, but which actually conveys something much deeper, a state of complete fulfillment and inner well-being, achieved only through the cultivation of virtue. Every action and every choice shapes one's character, and only those who consistently practice virtue can attain the true fullness of life. The Epicureans, followers of Epicurus, also regarded philosophy as a means to achieve serenity. For them, happiness stemmed from ataraxia, the absence of inner disturbance. Epicurus wrote, "What nature requires, a little suffices." This statement encapsulates the essence of his philosophy, freeing oneself from unnecessary desires and building a life that is simple and authentic. Basic needs such as food, water, security, and friendship are relatively simple to fulfill, while the obsession with wealth, power, or social recognition leads only to constant dissatisfaction. Freeing oneself from the relentless pursuit of riches or status allows for the enjoyment of simplicity and inner peace. For Epicurus, the key to serenity lies in the ability to be content with what is truly necessary, avoiding those endless desires that, rather than satisfying, enslave individuals to a perpetual sense of lack. The concept of ascesis, practiced by the Stoics and revisited by Hadot, emphasizes the importance of mental training. Just as an athlete trains to strengthen the body, the philosopher trains the mind in clarity, patience, and resilience. This practice is not an abstract exercise, but a tangible tool. It builds a strong character capable of facing the world without being swept away by emotions or collective illusions. This vision of philosophy as the art of living transcends the boundaries of Western thought. In Eastern traditions as well, philosophical thinking is deeply intertwined with practical life. In Buddhism, wisdom is understood as an experience that leads to liberation from suffering. In Confucianism, ethics is a daily discipline, a continuous path of self-improvement. Rediscovering philosophy as a tool for personal growth means restoring its original purpose. Living philosophically doesn't mean having all the answers, but learning to ask the right questions. As Socrates famously said, knowing that you know nothing is the first step toward wisdom. Philosophy is a journey, an art through which each individual can construct their own life. In today's world, where critical thinking is often sacrificed to superficiality, philosophy provides a path to reconnect with what truly matters. As Seneca once said, "No wind is favorable to those who do not know where they are going." And so, can philosophy serve as the compass that helps build an authentic, free, and mindful existence? That art which enables one to shape the life they truly desire?